Welcome back. Well, we are looking at the pre-opening rates to come through in just the next couple of minutes or so, and the SGX has been suggesting that the start at least will be on the optimistic side. Dipan is with us. So Dipan, hi. Let's talk about some of the other major results. I mean, we were speaking to the Dr. Reddy's management, for instance, just now. What thoughts on this one or anything else in pharma? Because for Reddy's, the concern that's come to light is the slight slowdown, quarter on quarter at least, in their US business. Any view on this stock or anything else that you'd pick in pharma?
See, I was also listening to the Dr. Reddy's interview, and the feeling I got is that, beyond Revlimid, one doesn't know how the US generics will actually play out. And I don't think they have another blockbuster kind of a drug in that market. And even the domestic sales, I think, were slightly below our expectation at least. And going ahead, I think it's a very complicated company. And there was a great time when US generics were doing exceptionally well that you could buy companies like Dr. Reddy's, Sun, and Cipla and Lupin and expect to have a secular growth story. But that is no longer the situation. Within pharma, I'm very positive on the new kid on the block. That's Mankind. The focus has to be on domestic brands and domestic business. And that's one company which is riding that particular wave of rising healthcare spends within India, especially in tier 2, tier 3. So one needs to be a bit selective in pharma, and I would just say that it's best to not make any fresh investments in the likes of Dr. Reddy, Lupin, Cipla. Sun Pharma, of course, wants to look at their specialty portfolio, how that is shaping up.
Dipan, hi, morning. Any thoughts on the big winner, Varun Beverages? I mean, if you own it, you made a lot of money, but if you don't and you're looking at the price go up, it's a feeling, isn't it? What's your sense on this one from here after all that it has done?
Prashant, first a disclosure that we and our clients have been investors in Varun Beverages, and it has turned out an exceptional winner for us. And the reason for that is that typically I think they have expanded the distribution and manufacturing network phenomenally over the last 2-3 years or so. It's a very efficient bottler for Pepsi. And, with the kind of consumer spends taking place and the spread of electricity in the towns and villages, that is supporting their distribution expansion because you can therefore have refrigerators in every nook and corner of the rural areas, and that's what's driving consumption. Demographics, of course, favor them. So I think this is a great long-term secular story. Many, many years you will have decent growth rates. Clearly, the way this company is shaping up reminds me of another fantastic value creator, that being Page Industries. A similar business, but more into innerwear. And this is, of course, into beverages. But the kind of profile is similar, and I think it will turn out to be a great value creator as well going forward.
The other one is Dipan, Sula. I wanted your thoughts on. Penetration levels are low, etc. All that is fine. The only question is, it's a linear business, right? To grow sales, you need more grapes, and more grapes needs more land. So how does that play out? I mean, if you're producing an X amount or sales of X amount based on, say, whatever land that they are growing these grapes on, to grow the sales in a very large fashion, you need much more land. So that is a constraint, you think?
Thank you for pointing out, Prashant. And we should have asked that question to the management when they were there, I think, a few days ago, and I was also there on the channel at that time. But yes, I think that certainly is a risk factor in Sula. But on the whole, I think it's a new listing. And the first quarter I saw, and what I saw from the track record, is that I don't think the company is performing to its full potential. I mean, intuitively, you feel that Sula should be able to grow at a much faster pace than the average Alcobev company. But that's not the case, considering that, drinking of wine is spreading significantly. So I just want to understand the company better before one has an opinion. But for the time being, I think in the Alcobev, it's better to go for the smaller companies within the space. I think they have done exceptional performance. The larger ones, maybe like Sula or United Spirits, I think have been a bit of underperformance.
Okay, all right. Dipan, being a little naughty in the morning, Prashant as well as you, wine on your mind. But thanks so much for joining in and discussing that. Maybe on the weekend we could keep that one in mind as well.